I'm Haley Miner, and I'm here to give you this week's news at Ritchie County High School. In this episode of RCHS News, we will get an update from Ms. Wagner about the September 15th community meeting at Ritchie County High School. We will hear about the cell phones at Ritchie County High School. Investigative team Hope McAtee and Patrick Shepard dig into the issue of math summative assessment scores. Kiersa Cottrell looks at what Ritchie County High School students and staff think about the presidential election. We'll get an update on fall sports and take a closer look at the lunchball scene. We'll introduce you to German exchange student Miria Klein. And Zoe Reed will get to the bottom of the great plumbing mystery at Ritchie County High School. First, let's go to Mrs. Wagner for the details on this week's community meeting.
There will be a community meeting next Thursday, September the 15th at 6 o'clock in the Ritchie County High School auditorium to discuss future academic and curriculum issues, to talk about student decline in enrollment and some of our future financial challenges. We want to speak to the community and get some ideas from them what they would like to see happen.
As Spirit Week arises, we sat down with a student council representative and a Ritchie County High School cheerleader to get the scoop.
First, we caught up with Brianna Moss, Ritchie County High School cheerleader, who helped decide Spirit Week days.
Monday is Senior Citizen Day, Tuesday is going to be Tacky Tourist Day, Wednesday is Class Color Day, Thursday is Rock and Roll Day, and Friday is Rebel Day.
There you have it. Next week, to sit down with Ms. Schimmel to get the inside scoop in Spirit Week activities.
I expect Spirit Week to be a lot of fun this year. We are going to have lots of games, and I hope all students get to participate in one way or another. I like to see a lot of orange and green and red and blue on Color Day.
You have Spirit Week games planned out, and what are they?
Musical chairs and tug of war. We're going to keep those.
How do students sign up for the games?
When we get a list of the games finalized, we will have a sign-up sheet for each class president, and then we will have a class meeting where students can sign up for each game that they want to participate in. And the idea is that you only get to participate in one or two events so that lots of students get to partake in the fun.
And what are the prizes?
Prizes are points, and points will be awarded based on your performance in each of these activities, and at the end of Spirit Week we will add up the points and see who the winning class is.
Finally, Ms. Schimmel made it very clear that all students have an option to participate.
And this was your inside scoop
On Calendar Update with Kelsey Drinko
and Katie Bailey.
Cell phones are a very hot topic at Ritchie County High School. Reporter Cassie Tallman and I bring you this report.
Hi, I'm Cassie Tallman.
And I'm Haley Miner.
And we are here to get the latest scoop on cell phone usage in Ritchie County High School. We asked Principal Kelly Wagner what her thoughts were about this issue.
Well, in our handbook and with our student and teacher leadership team, we chose not to allow students with cell phones, more so because it's distracting. Don't want bullying issues to other students. We don't want them copying anything and giving out test questions, that kind of stuff.
We asked math teacher Mr. McCullough what his thoughts were about this issue. Okay. How do you feel about cell phones in school?
Well, we have a rule right now that says that we're not allowed to use them, but if they're not a distraction in class, I don't have a problem with it. Actually, I allow them to use them to take pictures of the homework and do things like that. But if it becomes a distraction, then I will make sure they're not out.
Your feelings about having your cell phones at lunch?
I have no problem with that. I don't think it is a major problem if they would have them out there to listen to music, do things like that. But if it does become a distraction or becomes an issue, then the administration needs to do something with it.
This is what Lauren Strickland has to say about cell phone usage in school.
I feel that cell phone usage in school is a great idea because you can use it in many educational ways.
How do you feel about cell phone usage at lunch?
I think that cell phone usage at lunch is also a great idea because we're not interrupting anyone and we can put them away when we get back to class and just have our free time at lunch.
This is your junior girls, Cassie Tallman
and Haley Miner,
signing out.
Now we turn to investigative reporting team Hope McAtee and Patrick Shepard for their report on math summative assessment scores at Ritchie County High School.
Math teachers agree that the math scores of the summative assessment could have been better. I'm here in front of Miss Morgan's room where I have interviewed her, and this is what she had to say.
Last year's test scores were not what I wanted them to be. I was kind of disappointed with them. There were several students that did increase their scores, but there were several that stayed the same, so we're working to increase those scores this year.
How are you helping students prepare for the math portion of the next summative assessment?
In classes, we're trying to practice as much as we can with questions coming from those tests. Of course, we don't know what will be on the new tests.
I interviewed senior Tristan Wright, who didn't do as well on the math summative assessment as he would have liked to.
Well, I got my results back yesterday, and they weren't as good as I hoped. I could probably try harder. I wasn't very enthused last year, didn't like the format of it, but I could try harder in class, you know, do some more homework, do some more studying on my own time, probably help out a little bit. I don't really remember the test very well. It's just a lot of algebra and just a little bit of trig, so maybe for people that haven't taken trig yet, maybe they could get rid of a few of those questions, but I already took trig, so I have no excuse. But I thought the test was pretty well formatted. I just didn't do very well.
But senior Heidi Losk did very well.
Well, when I got my scores back, they were on the highest level on the math.
Hopefully this year's test takers are able to bring up their test scores and exceed expectations. I'm Hope from RCHS News, signing off.
We are here today at Ritchie County High School to get thoughts and concerns from both the students and teachers about this year's election. We sat down with Mr. Hott to get a historical perspective on the 2016 election.
I think from a historical perspective, it's extremely unique because, you know, you have your first woman legitimate candidate who could win and become president, and then I think you have the frustrations of voters in America, of politicians in general, which has opened the door for a Donald Trump.
Hott expressed concern about low voter turnout in this year's election.
It just seems to be an election that may turn voters off, frustrated with both candidates, and I question whether or not we'll have a low voter turnout.
He asked Mr. Durr, he didn't hesitate to say who he was voting for.
Well, I've been a fan of Hillary since I met her in 1992 when she came to Ohio University, where I was a student at the time, and campaigned for her husband. I got to meet her and shake her hand. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I do respect her politics, and yeah, I'm a liberal, and I don't think it's a nasty word.
Not everyone sees the election as so cut and dry. Sophomore Atticus Weekly shares the ambivalence of many Americans.
I think if anything, both candidates bring negatives. You know, Trump is very aggressive with most of his answers, and I think the rest of the world might hate us if Trump gets as president, but if Hillary becomes president, I think America could become soft, and I definitely don't think that that's good for America either.
Senior Sean Spencer supports Donald Trump.
I think that Donald Trump brings more jobs for the American people to the table by trying to keep immigrants out of America. That will open up more jobs for everyone else. And I think that he is a much better presidential candidate than Hillary. Hillary already had her chance in office when Bill was in office.
Spencer concedes that Clinton is more likely to win the election.
I think that Hillary will be the next president of the United States because of these reasons. Hillary will obviously win the Hispanic vote, which makes up a big percentage of the population in America now. She'll win the African American vote, and she'll also win the women's vote. So, I mean, that's probably like 70% of the voting right there, so Trump may even get blown out of the water.
Senior Patrick Shepard agrees that Clinton is more likely to win.
I expect Hillary to win too, because Donald Trump is abrasive, and I expect people to forgive her for the emails, because, you know, I'm human, she's human. Why not give her a second chance? Because we all get second chances.
As you can see, teachers and students have a lot of expectations for this November and are anticipating the results. This is Kirsa Cottrell signing out.
Fall sports are well underway at Ritchie County High School. We caught up with a few Rebel athletes to hear about their ups and downs of the season so far.
We definitely haven't performed to what we wanted to, but in practice I definitely think we're getting better every day and that we are going to win tomorrow.
The ups, we just won a small meet at Tyler, but the downs, we can't really get that to translate over to a bigger meet yet, but we'll eventually get there by the state meet.
I feel that the downs of this season are that we're a very young team and we're very inexperienced, but I feel that we're going to come back on top because we keep getting better every game.
We don't have really that many downs in this season. We have a lot of players, 7 players altogether, 4 seniors and 3 freshmen. The only down part about it is it's an odd number, so we have to rotate kids every day on every golf match. So.
Next up in sports, reporter Dalton Piles brings us his report on lunch ball.
I'm Dalton Piles, here to find out more about lunch ball.
It's not exactly about winning. You're just here to have fun. We're not getting mad at each other or anything. You just got to be a good sport.
According to Butcher, the players call their own fouls.
If something's really obvious, you call it. If it's not really obvious, it won't really affect anything. You just play on.
Butcher explains how players choose their own teams.
Well, we shoot for teams. So you shoot for team captains, and then the captains choose the team. Whoever made the first shot gets first choice.
According to Butcher, the style of the game is looser than the regulation of the game.
Oh yeah, we mess around a lot during this, and during an actual basketball game we wouldn't be doing this very much, or else we'd probably be sitting bench. Guys shoot threes a lot in here and make some funky passes and junk.
Freshman Michael Jones says that lunch ball can get a little rough.
Some people get drop kicked. Yeah, we had a kid down just a little bit ago. Brock, he was down for a little bit.
According to Michael Jones, lunch ball helps them concentrate in class.
It does help. Because most kids who come in here to play basketball, it's all burned out and tired, and then they concentrate better because they're all tired, they're not as excited and stuff.
For RCH News, I'm Dalton Piles here reporting in a gymnasium.
Now for this introduction, meet Miria Klein, foreign exchange student from Germany.
Hello, I'm Miria Klein. I'm from Germany and I'm 16 years old. My house families is the Harshberger family. Yes, I like them. They're really nice and friendly, and it's not complicated to fit in. I think the first thing I liked was the red trees because they're bigger, I think, than German trees. Yes, I think it's the dyeing of the hair.
Do you guys do that a lot?
It's really different in Germany because we don't do it a lot. In Germany we don't have things like races, but we're going shopping too, but we don't have the mall. We have more like single stores who are next to each other on the street. And we're going to the movies as well. Me, for example, I'm living just an hour away from the mountains, and so we're going skiing as a group of friends. I think that it tastes better sometimes, but it's much more unhealthy. So this is a big problem because you can't control yourself. Like it's not easy to say no, I don't want to eat it because it tastes good, but it's unhealthy. Yes, it's really. We have white lines in the middle of the road, and you have a white paint and you have yellow paint in the middle of the road, and it's so cool to see that because in Italy they have yellow paint as well. And so when I first came to Ritchie County, I had a feeling like I'm going to the holidays because I'm normally going to the holidays to Italy, and it was really cool to see that the roads are different. What I was asking me, do you have Rchs? Rchs? You do? Okay, because I wasn't sure, and I'm one of the. I'm someone who likes licorice, but there are not many people in Germany who are liking it, and I don't know if it's in the USA like that as well.
To conclude this episode, explorer of the supernatural, Zoe Reed gives us a scoop on RCHS Great Plumbing Mysteries.
We are here at the water fountain at Mr. McPeak's room to solve the mystery behind the toilet water theory. This is a theory that many students at our school have, that you have to flush the toilet to get the water fountain to work.
We are here today to talk to Dave Hardbarker about the concerns. Have you ever heard of the theory before?
No idea.
Do you think it has something to do with the water pressure?
I don't know, but it could have.
Do you think the water is unsafe?
No.
Now we're going to interview some students.
Have you heard the theory behind the water fountain?
No, I have not.
When did you hear about this theory?
Today. I guess when I first got into high school, I heard about it, but I also heard that you had to flush in the boys' bathroom to get the water fountain to work.
How do you feel about this theory?
I think it's a coincidence that someone thought it was a toilet flushing that made the water fountain work.
Well, the water is gross. It tastes like fish eggs or frog eggs.
I think it's gross, but I don't usually drink from the water fountain anyways, so.
We are here with this teacher that wanted to meet in secret. She didn't want people to know that she was onto their bathroom tricks. Do you know about the theory behind the toilet?
What do you mean?
The stories that have been going around about the toilet and the water fountain.
Well, I know there have been times that people are trying to get a drink out of the fountain. The fountain doesn't work, so they send someone into the boys' bathroom to flush a toilet. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am. What is your thoughts on that?
I think it grosses most people out because they somehow think that the water is coming from the toilet. But, you know, if you really think about it, it can't come from the toilet because the toilet water goes into a drain, I would say, right?
Yes.
And, you know, water that goes into the fountain is not from a drain. So I think it must have to do with pressure or something like that in the line. I don't really know.
Is this theory true? Test it out for yourself at the water fountain across from room 170.
Thank you for that report, Zoe. The water fountain will never taste the same again. And that concludes this episode of RCHS News. See you next time.